Hello, Killy Kymani here at Haven Humane, and I'm gonna read A Wind in the Door by Madeline L'Engle to these little ones, Blossom and Meadow. Say hi. Here. Yeah. Chapter 8, Journey into the Interior. Now that Virginia had said it, it seemed to make the only logical, the only possible course of action if they were to save Charles Wallace, if Farandole were causing his illness, if the extra were at work within him as well as without, and the only hope was for them to become small enough to go into one of his mitochondria and see what was happening with the Farandole. Philip. Etronaristan. Kelly spoke softly. Size. Where sizes don't matter. But to be as small as a galaxy is huge. Can you make us that small? Virginie smiled. Size is really quite relative. Anyhow, Big looked at Sparrow. We're already talking with a Farandola. If he had tried to imagine a Farandola, it would not have looked like Sparrow. Mr. Jenkins rose stiffly and moved it with his peculiar stork-like gait to Virginia. I don't know why I thought I might be of help. This is all over my head. I will only be a hindrance to the children. You had better send me back to my school. At least there are no surprises for me there. What about this morning? Virginia asked. That was not a surprise for you? I cannot tell you why you have been sent to us, Virginia, because I myself do not know yet. But Meg named you. The full indications of this are not yet clear to me. It means that you are part of whatever is going to happen. Mr. Jenkins moaned. Virginia stretched out his arms, embracing them all in the gesture. The mitochondrion to which I am sending you is known as Yada. It is Sporos' birthplace. Sporos danced around, wriggling in outrage. Meg shouted at him. If you are in Charles Wallace, if he's in your galaxy, you couldn't be in a more special place. Louise sent her sibilant song towards Meg, all anger vanquished when Meg caught from Louise's song. Another prediction of Charles puzzled under the blanket. His mother lifted him to prop him up on their pillow to ease his labored breath, and pulled down the blanket so that Dr. Louise could listen to his heart with her stethoscope. She looked up gravely and Meg understood that she was suggesting that perhaps they had better call for things. Oxygen jam, then! Meg cried out to Louise Delarger and Virginia. Why couldn't oxygen help Charles? For a while, Dr. Calubra will see to that when the time comes. Tears rushed to Meg's eyes. Oh, Louise, take care of him. Don't let him stop fighting. Mr. Jenkins asked. Would anybody in his right mind let a snake near a sick child? Dr. Louise will, Meg said. I'm sure she will. From something she said in Mother's lab the other night. But Jenny, is Dr. Louise a teacher too? Jenny nodded. Meg's heart gave a leap of hope. Snakes, Mr. Jenkins murmured. Mitochondria, ectra. Meg swallowed a hiccupy sob, took off her glasses, and swiped the tear-smeared lenses. Mr. Jenkins looked at her and spoke in his most stilted academic voice. Man, a meeting point in the universe. And Charles Wallace, is that it? At this moment in time, Charles Wallace is the point of equilibrium. The Jenny nodded gravely. So what happens with his mitochondria and farandole? She looked too vague for explanations. She tried to pull herself together. Remember, Mr. Jenkins, you're great on Benjamin Franklin saying we must all hang together, or assuredly we will all hang separately. That's how it is with human beings and mitochondria and farandole. And our planet too, I guess, and the solar system. We have to live together in harmony or we won't live at all. So if something is wrong with Charles Wallace's mitochondria, her voice trailed off. Mr. Jenkins shook his head. What can we do? What can we possibly hope to do? Then he cried out in horror. Oh no! The pseudo Mr. Jenkins they had seen before was moving rapidly towards them. He reared her back coils upwardly with a horrible hissing. Quickly! But Jenny spread his arms wide, pulling Mr. Jenkins, Burroughs, and Calvin into their span. Progenos caught Meg within the strength of his wings. The beat of his heart. She seemed to be part of the cherubim's heartbeat. The oval pupil dilated, and she went through to... She could not tell where they were. She could only sense the presence of the others. As through a vast echoing tunnel she heard the Jenny. I would show you something to encourage you before you go. Meg looked about. Ahead of her was a tremendous rhythmic swirl of wind and flame. But it was wind and flame quite different from the cherubims. There was a dance ordered and graceful, and yet giving an impression of complete and utter freedom of affable joy. As the dance progressed, the movement accelerated, and the pattern became clearer, closer, wind and fire moving together, and there was joy and song and melody soaring, gathering together as wind and fire united. And then wind, flame, dance, song cohered in a great swirling, leaping, dancing single sphere. They heard Mr. Jenkins incredulous. What was that? Virginia replied, the birth of a star. Mr. Jenkins protested. It's so small I could hold it in the palm of my hand. Then with an indignant snort, how big am I? You must stop thinking about size, you know. It is both relative and irrelevant. At this point, May could not be bothered with size. She wanted to know something else. Progo, will the star be named? He calls them all by name, the cherubim said. Meg looked in wonder at the star. It was indeed so small that she could have reached out and caught it in her hand. But its flaming was so intense that the song itself came out of the fire and was part of the burning. She thought in wonder, I must be the size of a galaxy. Then all thoughts dissolved in the glory of the melody and the dance. But Jenny's voice came like thunder. No! She was pulled into Progenos again, into the beat of the great heart, into the darkness of the eye, into the... No! She was being consumed by flame. She sensed a violent jolt to the cosmic rhythm, a distortion of a wild disharmony. She tried to scream, but no sound came. She felt pain so intense that she could not bear it another second. Another second and the pain would annihilate her entirely. Then the pain was gone, and she felt once again the rhythmic of the cherubic heart, very rapid, faintly irregular. Did it have to hurt that much? Shock and pain made her loud and angry. Her limbs were trembling weakly. Progenos seemed to be having trouble. His heart continued to race unevenly. She thought she understood him to say, we had a brush with electrodes. Her own breathing was a shallow panting. She felt that she was all there, all her atoms reassembled, that she was made. And yet, when she opened her eyes, she could see nothing but a strange, deep green blackness. She listened, and through what seemed at first to be a sound somewhat like the shrilling of insects on a summer night, she thought she could hear, or perhaps it was feel, a steady, regular pulsing. Rogo, where are we? Yada. You mean we are in Charles Wallace in one of his mitochondria? Yes. It was not conceivable. What's that sort of strumming I feel? Is it Charles Wallace's heartbeat? Paginos moved in negation in her mind. It's the rhythm of Yada. It feels like a heartbeat. Vaguely. You're not in Earth time now. You were seeing Yada. In Farragola time, Charles Wallace's heart beats something like once a decade. She shivered. Her arms and legs still stuck trembly and useless. She blinked, trying to adjust her eyes through the darkness. Rogo, I can't see. Nobody in the interior can see Meg. Eyes aren't needed. Her heartbeat and frightened counterpoint to the rhythm of the mitochondrion. She could not pay proper attention as Prognost said. It's what might be called a circadian rhythm. All life needs rhythm too. She interrupted. Progo, Blajeni, I can't move! She wrote Prognost within her thoughts. His own thinking had calmed considerably. He was recovering from whatever it was that had frightened him and caused her so much pain. But Jenny did not come with us. Why? This is no time for silly questions. Why is it silly? Why can't I see? Why can't I move? Meg, you must stop panicking or I won't be able to guide with you. We won't be able to help each other. She made a tremendous effort to calm down, but with each heartbeat she felt only more tense, more frightened. How could her heart beat pounding so rapidly if Charles Wallace's beat only once a decade? Prognost thought noisily at her. Time isn't any more important than size. All that is required of you is to be in the now, in this moment which has been given to us. I don't feel like myself. I'm not myself. I'm part of Charles Wallace. Meg, you are named forever. But Progo, say the multiplication table. I was being silly. Vaguely, it will help bring you to yourself. Try. I can't. Her mind felt battered and numb. She could not even remember enough to count to 10. What's 7 times 8? She responded automatically. 56. What's the product of 2/3 and 5/7? Kymani world. 10 over 21. What's the next prime number after 67? 71. Can we think together now? There was considerable concern in Prognost's questioning. Concentration the cherubim had thrust on Meg had calmed their panic. I'm okay. Where's Calvin? Where's Mr. Jenkins? And that's Burroughs? They're all here. You'll be able to guide with them soon. But first we have to find out what the second test is. Find out? Her mind was still blurred from pain and fright. He was patient with her. As we found out what the first test was. You guessed that? She said. You know what this one is? I think it has to do with Burroughs. But what? This is what we must discover. You have to hurry then. She tried to check her impatience. Meg, I have to work with you and Mr. Jenkins together because he isn't capable of letting me move about in his mind as we can. So you'll have to help. The grown Farandole don't talk the way people do. They type. Like cherubim? Some of the ancient ones, yes. But the younger ones, it's a little closer to what you call mental telepathy. Never mind the degree. Mr. Jenkins can't understand Kymani at all, and you'll have to help him. I'll try, but you'll have to help me, Pogo. Stretch out your right hand. I can't move. That doesn't matter. Move your hand in your mind. Hide it. Hide that Mr. Jenkins is standing by you, and that you're reaching out to hold his hand. Are you doing it? I'm trying. Can you feel his hand? I think so. At least I'm making believe I can. Hold it tightly so that he knows you're there. Her hand, which was no longer her hand in any way she had known before, nevertheless moved it in the remembered pattern, and she thought she felt a slight pressure in return. She tried to kai to the principal. Mr. Jenkins, are you there? Here. It was like an echo of a fainted, remembered voice hoarse with chalk dust. But she knew that she and Mr. Jenkins were together. Meg, you will have to kaizen everything I tell you. If I move into his mind, I hurt him. He can't absorb my energy. Now try to translate simultaneously for him. Make him see that a grown farandola's matter does not move, except as a plant does, or a tree when there is no breeze to cause its motion. Whereas the great kelp forests move. A grown farandola moves by kiting. Kiting is not going to be easy for Mr. Jenkins, because it has been a great many years since he's known himself, his real self. Meg sighed with a kind of anxious fatigue, suddenly realizing the enormous amount of energy taken by this intense kiting. Cherubin moved lightly, swiftly within her, and as kiting moved through and beyond her senses to an awareness she had never known before. She groped to contain it in images which were within Mr. Jenkins' comprehension. The sea, a vast, curving, never-ending sea. It was as though they were in that sea, deep down under the water's surface, deeper than a whale can dive. Surface of the sea, and any light which might penetrate the surface, which was hundreds of fathoms away. Through the dark depths there was movement which was part of the rhythm she had mistaken for Charles Wallace's heartbeat. The movement assumed shape and form, and images were kited to her mind's eye. Visual projections superimposed swiftly one out over the other. She tried to send them to Mr. Jenkins. A primordial fern forest, a giant bed of kelp swaying to submarine currents, a primeval forest of ancient trees with rough silver bark, underwater trees with silver gold green foliage which undulated rhythmically, not as though the long fronds were being blown by wind or current, but of their own volition, like the undulation of those strange sea creatures halfway between plant life and animal life. The visual images, music was added, strange, unearthly, rich, the surging song of the surrounding sea. Farandole. She felt confusion and questioning from Mr. Jenkins. To him, Farandole were little scampering creatures like squirrels, not like the sea trees she had been trying to show him. Paginos Kai. The sea trees, as he called them, are what squirrels will become when he deepens. They are then called Farah. Once he has deepened, he will no longer have to run about. A grown Farah is far less limited than a human being is by time and place. Because Farai can be with each other anytime and any place. Distance doesn't separate them. They move without moving? Meg asked. You might put it that way. Am I to learn to move without moving too? Yes, Meg. There's no other way in the mitochondrion. There's nothing for you to stand on in Yada, and no space for you to move through. But because you're an earthling, and earthlings excel in adaptability, you can learn this motionless motion. Are you translating for Mr. Jenkins? I'm trying. Keep on, Meg. We'll have time to rest later, unless she felt a small, sharp pain which was immediately withdrawn. Some of the ancient ones can carry not only from mitochondrion to mitochondrion within their human hosts, but the farandole mitochondria and other human hosts. Do you remember how shocked Sporos was when Calvin told him that human beings can't do that sort of thing? Yes, but Progo, Mr. Jenkins doesn't understand about Sporos running around like a toy mouse. Don't understand it either. He isn't a bit like the sort of sea things you just showed us. Sporos is, as he said, only a child. Although he was juggling chronologies when he said he was born yesterday, a farandola well into adolescence has already passed through in its early stages and taken root and is becoming a grown phara. It is nearly time for Sporos to leave childhood and deepen. If he does not, it will be another victory for the Ektroth. When did he deepen? Calvin is having trouble kiting with him. Sporos is holding back. We have to help him deepen, Meg. That's our second test. I'm sure it is. To make an unwilling Sporos deepen, it seemed a more impossible deal than naming one of the three Mr. Jenkinses. How do we do it? He countered with another question. Are you calm? Calm. Then once again she moved into that strange place which is on the other side of feeling. With one part of her she knew that she was in Charles Wallace, actually inside her brother, that she was so small that she couldn't be seen in the most powerful microelectron microscope, or heard in the microsonoscope she knew too. Then Charles Wallace's life depended on what was going to happen now. She was beginning to get a glimmer of what Prognos meant when he talked about the dangers of feeling. She held herself very still, very cool, and turned towards the cherubim in quiet kiting. Be a phara, he told her. Make believe, do the inhabitants of Yada seem more limited than human beings, because once they have taken root, they can't move from their deepening place. But human beings need deepening places too, and far too many never have any. Think about your deepening places, Meg. Open yourself into kiting. Open. She returned to the strange world, which was below light, below sound, penetrated only by the rhythm of tides pulled by the moon, by the sun, by the rhythm of the earth itself. She became one with the kiting, different creatures moving in the intricate pattern of song, of the loveliness of rhythm, of joy. Then a coldness came. A horrible, blood-freezing chill. Tendrils were drawn back, pulled away from her, isolating themselves, isolating Meg, Prognos, each other. The song jerked out of rhythm, out of tune, rejecting her. Something was wrong, horrifyingly wrong. She felt Prognos hurling himself at her, into her. Meg, that's enough for now. We must be with the others. Calvin, Mr. Jenkins, Sporos before what? For the second test, we must all be together. Open, kite to Calvin. Where is he? It doesn't matter where he is, Meg. You've got to get it through your head that where doesn't matter any difference in the mitochondrion. It's why and how and who. Calvin! She seemed to feel every muscle in her body straining and protesting at the strain. You're trying too hard, the cherubim said. Relax, Megling. You kite with me without all the effort. You and Calvin often kite without realizing it. And when Charles Wallace knows when something's upset you at school, knows it even before you come home, that's kiting. Just be Meg. Open. Be. Kite. Through the darkness of undersea, she kited. Calvin! Meg! Where are you? Prognos flicked sharply at her. Forget where. How are you? All right. A little confused by everything. Sporos, where? No. Howless Boros. Meg, he doesn't want to tithe or be with me. He doesn't want to share his world. He says that human beings are unworthy, and that may be so, but she felt a swirling of tithing all around her, as though the words and images of the tithing were drops of water which go to make up the oceans, drops of water which are not separate from the other, as human beings are separate within the flowing of the deep tides. Images flashed by, many little creatures like sparrows scampering about, carefree, merry, always in the protection of the great kelp fern trees, the deepened ones, about which they flitted and fluttered. Are you translating for Mr. Jenkins? I'm trying, Progo, but I'm not sure I really feel him. I know that I'm with you and with Cameron, but Mr. Jenkins, be with him, May. He needs you. He's frightened. If Virginia wanted him along, there must be a reason for it, but it seems to me he's an awful liability. She felt a thin distance. I am aware of that. She stretched herself towards the faint spot. Mr. Jenkins! That's right, Progenos said. Remember, he hasn't much imagination. Or rather, it's been frozen for a long while and hasn't had time to thaw. You have to tie your whole self to him. You have to hold his hand tightly, so that he can feel you and return your tithe. Can you feel his hand? I imagine so. Can he feel you? Mr. Jenkins! Mr. Jenkins! She cried questioningly. Wait a minute, Progo, Cal. I'm not sure. Something's wrong. She broke off, gasped. Calvin! Progo! With every particle of her voice, she screamed. Not a scream made with her voice, but with all of her. A scream of pain that was beyond terror. It was the same pain that had torn across the galaxy when Prognos had shown her the Xing of the Ectra. It was the pain which had slashed across the sky in the schoolyard, where she had named Mr. Jenkins. It was the pain which had almost annihilated her when Prognos took her the strange journey through his eyes to Yada. She was being X'd. We must end this chapter here.